Ben, this is gonna be such a great conversation. Just to kind of tee this up a little bit, how you and I got connected was through the platform that you're going to be talking to us about today, and I believe that you've created the future of how sales are going to be done with home services. That's what I think.
Cool, that's a big claim. Wow. Like, damn, don't set the bar high for me at all, please. Like no low bar, but from Corey. I appreciate it.
Globally.
So, well, why don't you give people some insight? Why are you making this bold claim? Like, why have you started with such okay, home service sales is about to get shuffled on its head, and here's the guy why?
That's a great question. I don't think anybody's ever actually asked me a question back. So great job.
On your own podcast.
So here's why I make that claim, because look, sales training in general has a bad name. Sales training, is lots of times ineffective. The reason for that is because there's human error, right? Even myself, like I'm a trainer, I'm a sales coach, but there's always the human element of you're going to miss something somewhere. It doesn't mean it's a big thing, but there's always something. For example, it's like if you're normally in your routine of doing whatever it is and something throws you, speak for myself, something throws me out of my routine, I could miss something small that could make a big difference down the road that maybe was never detected. So I think what you've put together here is a surefire way to ensure direct customer feedback and direct as a sales rep or a customer service rep. And you can explain how all that is going to, how all that works. But that's why I believe that this is going to change the way home services are sold.
Yeah, well, let's talk about sales and sales training in the home services industry as it stands right now, right? And we're not going to assume you know anything. And here's what I can promise you. I'm going to share with you some insights and some phrases you can say that'll help you improve your sales conversations and as a result, your sales conversions. One of the things I want to point out is a sales conversion requires a conversation. And we're going to talk about the different types of conversations. And I think a lot of people go, I just need more sales. All right, great. Well, everything that goes with that, there's leads, there's how you're approaching those leads, there's how you're following up with these leads, what are the conversations you're having, but more importantly, what you're saying. So, and we're going to dive into that in a lot of detail, and I'm going to give you a whole lot of stuff you can literally implement because I want to help you improve your sales conversions like today, not in 6 months from now, not in 12 months from now. I think one of the biggest problems with sales training is it's easy to go to a meeting and get motivated. Like there's a lot of sales trainers that are more motivational coaches than they are sales trainers. And there's a lot of sales trainers who teach stuff that isn't real world stuff or doesn't apply to today's conversations. It worked great in the 50s and 60s. Some of the best selling sales books, right? Even today, the best-selling sales books are from people who stopped selling in the 70s that were selling used cars. And in their book, it literally says, lie to them, tell them whatever they want to hear so they'll buy from you. Like bait and switch them. And people are like, this book is amazing. But how do you... and I'm like, yeah, really? Like bait and switch? Like your sales philosophy is bait and switch? And you might be like, well, Ben, I don't bait and switch. And I'm like, well, it's amazing how you can do it in small ways to lose trust. Because one of the things we do so I'll give people the high level summary of what we do. How about that? I created a behavioral intelligence platform. And what does that mean? We applied behavior science and linguistic science. So that means body language, because 80% of everything we communicate is body language. We've got linguistics, which means the words you use. We literally analyze the words you use to determine personality conflict, to determine over 100 different types of emotions and how that's impacting our call, because we buy emotionally. The thing I say to people is that every sales trainer says people hate to be sold, but they love to buy. But how do they teach you to buy? How do they teach you to have people buy from you? And how do you make that magnetic? How do you make it intrinsically? So how do you have people intrinsically motivated to go, take my money, right? It's not through sleazy persuasion techniques that result in calls from the FTC. And we see this all the time in the industry of people who go too far to one side. And we've all dealt with that, right? Like, I'm sure you can share some examples of that, Corey.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, go for it.
And so what we did is I'm a behaviorist. I studied criminology, which is human profiling criminals, right? Was where my field of study was. And then I moved into the world of gamification. That's applying points, badges, leaderboards, the thing like Starbucks reward cards, reward programs. I used to build a lot of that stuff, and I published books on these topics. And all this I was doing was profiling individuals. And then I got into the world of cybersecurity, and like I was literally what they call a social engineer. And what that means is I got paid to hack humans on a daily basis, because I could hack your computer, which requires me to do some geeky stuff. Or I could just call you and go, hey, Corey, I'm trying to update your payment records for your payroll system, that your paycheck's going out on Friday, and we're having an issue with the account. It says you changed your account. Is that correct? And you'd be like, no, I didn't change my account. Oh, what's the 4 last digits of your bank so I can just verify I'm talking to the right Corey? You give me the information I need. Oh, I'm going to email you a link that I need you to click so I can just confirm that like I'm talking to the right person that I'm meant to be talking about. They click the email, they click the link because they don't want their paycheck to be disappearing. And all they do in one click is they literally give me access to their entire computer system. Boom.